Hi everyone, today's tutorial will be on layering kick drums in Reason. I'm doing this in Reason 6, but you can use any of the earlier versions of Reason to do this. I got the idea for this video from an Ableton tutorial I saw, which is on the same subject, so I thought I'd do a little version for all those Reason users out there. So basically I've made a combinator patch which has 3 different samplers in it. Each hooked up to their separate EQs and compression maximizers and some post-processing effects as well. So I'll start off by just explaining a little bit about kick drums and how they can be made up. Kick drums can be divided into 3 main parts. So the first part, sub, which is anything that lives below 100 Hz in the frequency spectrum. So I'll just play it. And then we've also got the punch, which is between 100 Hz and 1000 Hz, which sounds about like this. Finally, living above 1000 Hz generally is the clickiness, the clicky part from the initial attack of kick drums. And if you put all those individual elements together, you get a nice big sounding kick drum. So firstly, what I'll do is I'll just talk you through. I've got a line mixer here, 3 channels. The first channel is for the sub part of the kick drum. So it's just an NN19 digital sampler I've used with this kick drums from a sample pack. There you go, WA Syncussion Drums sample pack. I think I got it from Loopmasters. So it's just a kick drum from there. What I've done is I've filtered out it's a low pass filter, so I've filtered out all the high frequencies. I've also used the amp envelope to shape this kick drum to get the tail how I want it. And I've also used an EQ just to get rid of all those high frequencies I don't want. And then moving on to the punch, same NN19 digital sampler. I've used a kick drum from Vengeance, I think, a Vengeance sample pack. Again, I've used the low pass filter just to roll off some of those high, and I've used okay, that's not on. I've used two EQs to get rid of the low, and yep, that's just along with that filter there to get rid of the high. I've also put on a compressor and a maximizer because some of these samples, they do need lifted up a bit to get that punchiness through. And then finally we have another NN19 for the clicky part of the kick drum. So there's a notch filter going through there. Again, I've shaped it using the amp envelope, and I've used an EQ basically as a high pass filter to get rid of all those low end frequencies. Also, I've used a maximizer just to bring the level up a bit. And then finally, I've used an EQ, 2 EQs, a compressor and a maximizer to shape the whole sound of all the 3 individual elements together, which makes it sound really nice and punchy. So what I've done up here is I've linked certain parameters to the combinator controls. So the first control you have is the low mid crossover, so how much of the how much of the punch you're getting through and how much of the sub you're getting through. So I'll just play that and play around with that. So as you can see there, it's getting a lot more clickier, and then when you bring it around here, you're getting a bit more sub. Next control I've used is the high mid crossover, which controls the filters for the high and the mid simultaneously. So if you bring that down there, you get a really high clicking sound, and opposite way you get a bit more punchy sound. And the third control is for the punch, the starting position of the sample. sometimes you can get phasing problems between the sub and the punch. So you can use this control, which alters the start point of the punch sample. And if you just tweak that, then you can get a nice big sound. The final control we have is the sub length, which is basically just the length of the tail on the sub kick drum. So I'll just solo this. As you can hear, it gets boomier, boomier. Pull it back, it gets tighter. And that's basically it, guys. So you just find, the way I do it is I find I find a sub that I like, and you can just flick through these. It's not letting me do it. I'm clicking the wrong one, that's why. So yeah, you just flick through the subs you like, find one you like, and then do the same for the punch and the click. It's quite important to fiddle about with the envelope of each of the samples to get right and get it sounding nice. And yeah, also playing around with this EQ here just to get the sound you're looking for. And apart from that, that's just about it. It does take a bit of time to get a sound that you quite enjoy. But I'm going to upload this combinator patch, and I'll put a link in the description so you can download this patch and make your own kick drums. So thanks, I'll see you next time, bye.